Several department stores announced they are closing their doors. Macy's and Kohl's are going to be shutting down multiple locations across the Bay Area later this year.
The retail sector in America is undergoing yet another major transformation, and 2025 looks to be no exception. In fact, it's shaping up to be one of the most painful years ever for brick-and-mortar retailers across the nation. Once popular companies, household names, and mall landmarks are departing in waves, some quietly, others in very public explosions. The reasons are numerous: post-pandemic behavioral shifts, increasing rent, online competition, inflation, and a more discerning consumer base than before. This isn't simply about little boutiques disappearing from memory. We're seeing billion-dollar chains fall apart, icons shrivel, and business models that once characterized the American retail experience implode under their own antiquated weight. Even companies who have survived previous bankruptcy are now waving the white flag, demonstrating that second chances do not guarantee survival if you are still stuck in the past. From bargain stores to traditional fashion, pharmacies to supermarkets, no industry is immune. The most stunning part is who is on the chopping block. Some of the names on this list were previously untouchable. Now, these are cautionary tales. Welcome to the retail ice age, where adaptation reigns supreme and nostalgia is no longer enough to keep the lights on. 1. Rue 21. Rue 21, the teen apparel retailer that once dominated every mall corner with crop tops, graphic tees, and fast fashion fits, has officially died. After declaring bankruptcy in 2011 and again in 2017, the business attempted a defiant comeback, only to sink deeper than before. According to estimates, Rue 21 will close all 540 of its remaining stores by 2024, citing a devastating combination of dwindling foot traffic, evolving fashion tastes, and mall culture's death spiral. What determined its fate this time? Mounting debt, uncompetitive pricing, and a generation of Gen Z shoppers that prefer thrift stores than racks. Rue 21 attempted to pivot digitally, but was unable to compete with internet heavyweights such as Shein and Temu. Liquidation sales have begun, and several former employees claim they were surprised. For thousands of customers, Rue 21 was a part of their high school identity, but nostalgia couldn't save it. This time, we're truly saying goodbye. 2. Express. Express established itself as the go-to brand for office chic millennials and slick fast fashion. However, in April 2024, Express Inc. filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and announced plans to liquidate over 100 outlets, signaling that the company's heyday was finished. Despite a trendy web presence and collaborations designed to revitalize its image, Express was unable to beat the major forces destroying brick-and-mortar retail: inflation, decreased mall traffic, and a saturated fast fashion market. What was once aspirational now appeared costly and out of date, particularly when younger buyers switched to cheaper, trendier, and more personalized brands online. By mid-2025, further closures are predicted, with Express joining the expanding list of old mall brands that just could not adapt. As landlords prepare to reconfigure dozens of former Express shopfronts, it's evident that speed is no longer enough to save you in retail, especially if your style doesn't adapt at the same pace. 3. Family Dollar. It was intended to be recession-proof, a bargain store where $5 could still get you food, detergent, and a birthday card. However, Family Dollar is closing nearly 900 locations between 2024 and 2025, signaling a dramatic collapse that few anticipated. Dollar Tree acquired Family Dollar in 2015, but years of poor upkeep, deteriorating shop facilities, and a large warehouse rodent infestation incident in 2022 shattered customer trust. With increased competition from Walmart, Aldi, and Amazon, Family Dollar was no longer the go-to for America's working class. The closures began softly, but quickly intensified in 2024. Hundreds of more closures are predicted by 2025, with the majority focusing on underperforming and remote locations. While Dollar Tree seeks to rebrand and restructure, Family Dollar is falling behind. Once a lifeline for low-income people, it now serves as a warning. Even discount businesses are vulnerable when quality control and public perception fail. 4. CVS. CVS has long been a staple of American communities, selling medications, toothpaste, food, and even COVID testing. However, the retail pharmacy titan is facing a strategic contraction, having announced intentions to close 900 shops over the next 3 years, with over 300 closures likely in 2025 alone. Why? A mix of e-commerce disruption, foot traffic decreases, and cost-cutting measures. CVS is changing its attention to more profitable health hubs and digital prescription services. With Amazon Pharmacy and other telehealth startups challenging its dominance, the corporation recognizes that its huge physical base is no longer viable. Many cities are already experiencing closures, typically in low-income neighborhoods, prompting concerns about healthcare deserts. While CVS claims that this is a transformation rather than a collapse, towns that have lost their only neighboring pharmacy may see things differently. For many people, CVS was more than simply a drugstore. It represented accessibility, convenience, and stability, and even that is being simplified out of existence. 5. Office Depot. As remote work grows more permanent and digital tools replace paper, Office Depot is gradually becoming obsolete. Over the last few years, the chain has closed hundreds of outlets, and more are scheduled to close in 2025. The exact number is not yet known, but industry insiders reveal that many regional exits are already underway. Parent firm ODP has moved its focus to B2B services and technological integration, implying that retail sales of staplers and printer ink are not the future. Locations in underperforming malls and metropolitan areas are leaving, often with little warning. It's more than just sales. It's about relevancy. With Google Docs, Amazon Delivery, and hybrid work settings, the concept of running to Office Depot is obsolete. As customers digitize and decentralize, Office Depot becomes another vestige of the cubicle era, dying one fluorescent-lit aisle at a time. 6. PetSmart. PetSmart appeared invincible, America's one-stop store for toys, snacks, and tank filters. But beneath the chew toys and grooming facilities is a financial catastrophe that is quickly unraveling. Since acquiring Chewy.com in a high-risk $3.35 billion purchase in 2017, PetSmart has struggled with growing debt. The pandemic pet boom offered them a lifeline, but that momentum is already crumbling. Several analysts believe that PetSmart will be forced to declare bankruptcy in 2025, particularly after the company apparently failed to meet financial obligations in Q1. Meanwhile, Chewy split off and took off on its own, leaving PetSmart with the load and none of the benefits. To make matters worse, competition from Amazon, Walmart, and even local pet stores is reducing market share. Store closures have already started discreetly in numerous states. It's a devastating shift for devoted pet owners, but for investors, it's the unavoidable outcome of a failed venture. 7. Claire's. Claire's was formerly a destination for special occasions like first earrings, scrunchies, and ear piercings. But by 2025, the once iconic mall brand is rapidly eroding. Claire's has battled to remain relevant in an era where malls are fading and Gen Z favors online shopping to in-person glitz. Dozens of Claire's stores will close in 2024, and retail analysts predict many more in 2025, particularly in weak malls. The brand's attempt to move towards partnerships with Walmart and CVS gave temporary relief, but did not replace the heart of its original business: mall foot traffic. Claire's is losing its brand and audience as competitors like Shein and Etsy provide trendier, cheaper goods online. The nostalgia persists, but the demand does not. And as more malls close across America, Claire's loses its only true home. 8. Aldi. Aldi has long been seen as a success story, with its no-frills foods, efficient design, and loyal client base. However, in a startling twist, Aldi will close unexpectedly in select U.S. regions in 2025 as it retools its footprint and strategy in the face of tough competition and overexpansion. While Aldi continues to expand quickly in certain locations, including the Southeast and Midwest, it is pulling back in areas with oversaturation or high transportation costs. A few underperforming stores in California, New York, and Arizona have quietly closed, and internal restructuring is happening to realign investments. According to industry experts, this is not a collapse, but rather a recalibration reflecting greater stress in the discount grocery sector. With Lidl, Walmart, and even Dollar General expanding its grocery products, Aldi's once dominant niche is becoming crowded. It's still a huge player, but the surprising closures show that even giants must adapt when margins compress. 9. GNC. Remember when every mall had a GNC? Those days are almost gone. The health supplement behemoth, already hammered by a 2020 bankruptcy and takeover by Chinese firm Harbin Pharma, is losing considerably more weight in 2025. According to retail tracking estimates, GNC will close 192 more shops this year, following hundreds more closures since 2020. What's the reason? A terrible combination of online competition, dwindling mall traffic, and changing consumer preferences. Supplements are now available via Amazon, direct to consumer brands such as Ritual and Athletic Greens, as well as Target and Costco, all of which offer lower prices and convenience than GNC. GNC attempted to modernize through e-commerce and private label items, but the impetus never returned. Many of its remaining locations are in ghost town malls, so it's only a matter of time until more disappear. Health may be growing, but for GNC, the cure arrived too late. 10. Macy's. For more than a century, Macy's has been the pinnacle of American shopping, with Thanksgiving parades, ship stores, and legendary window displays. But underneath the glamour, 2025 reveals a somber truth. Macy's is aggressively downsizing, eliminating 150 shops by 2026, including dozens this year alone. The brand unveiled a bold Polaris strategy that focuses on high-performing sites and luxurious enhancements. But in reality, many of its middle-market outlets are being closed, particularly in malls and rural areas. As e-commerce giants grow and fashion tastes alter, Macy's conventional department store strategy is simply too heavy. Even attempts to focus on beauty, fine jewelry, and luxury collaborations have not slowed the outflow. Customers expect flexibility and quick service, not a maze of escalators and waiting lines. For many, the loss of Macy's represents the loss of tradition. But in 2025, nostalgia is simply not profitable. What we're seeing isn't a succession of isolated closures. It's a massive extinction event. The retail ice age has here, and it is freezing out every firm that refuses to develop, listen, or innovate. In an age of speed, convenience, and personalization, the retail industry's old guard is falling under the weight of its own past. Many of these businesses exhibited warning indications years ago, including dwindling sales, outmoded models, and poor leadership decisions. Some attempted to pivot too late. Others never tried at all. The aftermath is seen everywhere. Abandoned shop fronts, laid-off employees, and communities losing once familiar daily life staples. Even giants like Aldi and Macy's are not exempt. Their selective closures demonstrate that even success must be regularly reviewed. Adapt or die is no longer a corporate cliche. It is the fundamental law of 2025. However, where there is collapse, there is also opportunity. The vacuum left behind will be filled by faster, leaner, more tech-savvy competitors, or by firms that dare to completely redefine what shopping means. The ice age may be cold and harsh, but it is also the crucible for a new retail future. And what about the dinosaurs that are still dragging their feet? The extinction clock is ticking.